guys. Just a quick video to help. I've had a lot of folks ask me what loadout to run and those kind of things. Most of you that know me know that I run for lots of power. I hate getting to a rock and not having enough power to break the rock. Okay. So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be running a strong laser and active modules and that kind of thing. But you don't always have to do that. Oftentimes on a mole where you have other options, I will have a Hofstede on the front, which is an easier laser to use. Bigger green zone, faster green zone feeling, knocks out some of the resistance. It's just a great laser. And so I try to use that one all the time. But when I'm running a Golem or a Prospector, I'm gonna go usually rigged for power. Let me talk to you here just a minute though about how you decide what you're gonna do. Okay, if you're in a prospector or if you're in a golem and you don't have the choices that you have with the mole, what do you do? How do you go about deciding what you need to put on it? Okay, so if you look, we'll take using this smdb.net. There's other ones out there. This is just a good one that I like to use. We'll be using El Guapo's app here in just a minute. It's a super app. He doesn't have a lot of stuff on there when you download it. You know, you have to tell it that it doesn't have any viruses or anything like that. But it's good. It's trusted. He spends a lot of time getting it right. We'll use it here in just a minute, and then I have made a chart on my own that we'll look at. But normally, where I've mined so much, I kind of have an idea of what I'm wanting to do without doing all this. But as you're learning, this is a great way to kind of get an idea of what you need to do with your prospector, for instance, to mine this material. Okay, so say for instance you have gotten a blueprint for an NDB 30. I just picked that one off the top of my head because I've heard guys say that one or the 28s or something. I've heard them talk about wanting that for their ship. Okay. I know loadouts are change, things change and all that stuff, but just using that for an example. Okay. So if we want an NDB 30, going using this website, go to ship weapons. Let's see if we can find NDB 30. NDB 30. Okay. Now, if we have this blueprint and we want to make this is a size 3 weapon. And it takes, when it comes to finding high quality stuff, numbers like this are difficult. Okay. So it's going to take some work to make one of them. All right. So this is something to be having. Okay. But I want you to see this and I want you to be able to think through this process as you're getting ready to go mine so you have an idea of what you need to do. Okay. So say we're wanting to make an NDB 30. We need titanium, we need gold, we need, okay. So what do we do there? First, I'm going to decide how I need to rig to get those. Okay. Now, let's look. Here is the chart that I made that's got some of the data I've pulled from Mel Guapo's app and other places. And this tells you the resistance, the density, which tells you if it's a high density, then it's going to come in bigger rocks. Okay. So, I've taken and color coded this to let us know. Then you've got instability and then green zone thickness. Okay. These two you have to rig for. You have to rig for. These two can be overcome with skill, but it's something to know about. Okay. This tells you if you're going to blow stuff off when you blow it up. Don't worry about that. We blow stuff up all the time. Just want to break the rock. Okay. And mine it. All right. So I've got this sorted by resistance right now. So you've got down here, you get into legendary things, but you've got things mixed in. I don't have it in that order. Okay. It's by resistance. So looking at this, titanium is low resistance. It is kind of medium to low grade in density. Instability is nothing. Green zone thickness is good. So it's going to be easier to mine when we start mining it. And the resistance is low. The mass is not going to be too terribly big. Okay. But now the other two are much more difficult. All right. Gold, you've got a .5 in resistance. So you're going to be up around 40 or so. It's been a while since I mined gold, but I'm guessing somewhere around 40. This is huge. You're going to be running into rocks that are well over really probably what you're going to be able to break with a prospector. But we're going to check it out. But uh, or I'm going to get you rigged to break the biggest you can. Prospector with zero resistance, somewhere around 40K, biggest you're going to find. With gold, with this being the density, you're probably going to be finding a lot in the 60s, 70s, 100K range. Okay. You'll just have to pass by those, or you'll have to backspace and get you a mole, call for help, do whatever. Okay. That's the resistance is not bad. This is hard. Okay. Now, here's the worst one. Won't be as big, but resistance is through the roof, instability is through the roof. Green zone's not too bad, about middle of the road. Okay, this one's going to be hard. It's going to be hard with a prospector, but you can do it because it's not as small. These two probably shouldn't even go after with a prospector. You're more than likely you're now you can do it. You can search and search and search till you find small ones, but that's just even less chance of finding something with high quality. All right, so I'm going to use a chart like this, and I've looked at what I need. Um, we need titanium, gold, lentium. Now we know they're going to be when I'm going after the titanium, I can probably run a little smaller rig. When I'm going after these two, I'm going to have max rigs. Okay. All right. Now, how do you know what you're going to do there? Let me show you. Uh, if you go to an app like El Guapo's app here, you've got this rock break calculator on his app. And there's other rock break calculators out there. But looking at this, let's run the resistance all the way down. Okay. You got nothing, just a clean slate. If you're on your prospector and you're going after um, titanium, we know that it's going to be a little easier. So maybe we want to choose a Hofstede laser, bigger green zone, faster charge rate, all that stuff. So let's pick that. So we put a Hofstede laser on the prospector. Okay, now nothing else. Oops, not an impact two. Hofstede one. It's what you have on a prospector. Okay, now you got your Hofstede on your prospector, nothing else. Okay, look, when you done that, you gained a 30% resistance modifier. So it's going to knock your resistance down by 30%, but it's going to add 10% instability. Or again, resistance is a limiter. Instability is, for the most part, instability skill issue. Okay. Optional charge window, skill issue, but it helps. 60% helps, makes that green zone bigger. Charge rate, that makes you mine faster. Okay. Your charge rate's going to fill up faster. I love the Hofstede. If you could use it more, I would use it a lot more. Okay. But 12K, nothing else but the laser, 12K. El Guapo's got his rock break calculator set up so that uh, because he has run into some issues where it seems like if it's above 700 instability, it's harder to break. So he's broke it down and below and above. We're going below, okay, and we're saying 12 is the biggest you can break with just the Hofstede. All right, now let's add a laser. Let's say that we want a Riger C3. Give us a little more power, Riger C3. Okay, you don't take any work. You gain a quarter more laser power. You still got your resistance modifiers, charge window, all that stuff. Okay. Now you can break a 15K. So you've got 12K or 15K by changing that. All right, let's look at this. I always have surges. You have to go all the way to Levski to buy them. It's the only place you can get them. But an active surge module is what I run all the time. So you take that Hofstede, you come, or I always have surges with me. Let me put it that way. Put that surge on there. You fire the surge, you go to an 18. So you go from a 12 with nothing to a 15, now to an 18. You can break an 18K rock, okay, with nothing else. Now, in this situation, because we have zero resistance, this is not going to make much difference here. You're going to help. You could add an Optimax which ain't going to change this because you don't have any resistance to begin with, but it's a cluster. It makes it cluster up better. If you were having to deal with inert, or you wanted to try to get everything together better, you can put that Optimax on there. Nowadays, it's not really worth it. You get so little out of what you mine, it takes forever to fill even a Prospector up. So I wouldn't pay the money to do an Optimax. Boremax, same deal. Doesn't change how much you can mine, but it makes the laser instability better, makes it a little easier. If you were having to deal with that, you could use that. Okay. Wave shift makes your green zone huge. Okay. Slows your charge rate down. So to me, I don't think that's worth it either. Okay. Your charge zone's okay. I wouldn't worry about it in this instance. All right. So here, it probably isn't going to make that much difference. Severe gives you a little bit bigger charge zone, makes your instability worse, but it still doesn't change what you can break because you don't have any resistance. All right. Now, you will have just a little on titanium. So let's take this up to a 10. Okay. Get rid of your gadget. Okay, if you're just mining with Hofstede and the Surge, 10% resistance, you can break a 17K rock. Okay. Now throw on that Sabir if you need to, because the resistance is so low. Didn't change it much, gained just a smidge. Okay. All right. When we're mining the titanium, that's where we're going to be. Okay. You might want to, you're probably still going to run into a lot of rocks with that one, because if you go back to the chart here, titanium is a middle of the road. So you're going to find a lot of 30K rocks and stuff with titanium, 20s. Okay. You're going to find several that are too big for you to break. But for the most part, you'll be able to break a lot of them with that setup. But now watch what happens. If we go from the Hofstede, if we lose that big green zone, we lose the faster charge rate, but we want more power. Okay, so we go with a Helix 1. Now, automatically with no surge or no modules, but you still got the Sabir on there, you can break a 17. Watch what happens when you throw surges on there. 40K. We went from a 17 to a 40K. This is huge. This is the key. Actually, these are the keys to breaking huge rocks. All right. Helix, surge, Sabir, big rocks if you need it. Okay. If you're going after ortite, if you're going after uh, something that's small, if you're going after any of these on the smaller size, the Festinite, it's got a high instability, but it's small. Silicon, small, tin, and no, tin's a little bit bigger. Iron can be humongous. Copper, easy to mine, but can be humongous. Let's see. So it's a 9. Okay. You can run a Hofstede with these. A lot of these you can run a Hofstede with. Easier. If you keep you some surges with you and a Sabir, you can mine this stuff. Okay. With a Hofstede. It makes it easier. Less stress. A lot of times get it done. No big deal. Okay. But we've got our titanium mined. We're going after gold. Everything changes right here. 19.3 mass, 5 on the resistance, 555 instability, piney green zone. Okay, going to get worse. It's going to get more difficult. Same thing with the lindenium, more difficult. Smaller rocks, high resistance, high instability. If you're mining for that NDB 30, when you go to these two, you're going to have to rig with a helix. You're a prospect. You might switch some of these around. Not well, no. If you get into those big ones, you're going to have these big ones. You can have in your backpack, you could have you say, for instance, you want a little bit bigger green zone. Okay. You could throw you on a Focus 3. Look how much you drop. You go from 40 to 25. It gives you a bigger green zone, but you drop a lot of what you can mine. The stacking of those two surges is huge. When you get well, actually, I said 40, but remember we've still got this set at 10%. When you get over to the gold, like I say, it's been a little while since I mined gold, but say somewhere around 45. Now with this setup, 36K, if that's the resistance. 36K. All right. You're not going to be able, if you're going to mine the big ones, you're not going to be able to go, if you put a focus 3 on there, you drop just to get a little bit more green zone. If you put a Riger C3 on there, you drop 2 Rigers, or if you, heaven forbid, you take a, you want it to be easy, so you put you a Riger C3 on there and a Focus 3. Look what happens. 18. You go from 18, being able to break an 18. If you're going after gold, you're not going to find many that small, and you're already having to pass by rock after rock after rock because the quality is not up there. So you want to be able to break the biggest rock you can. So if I'm going, because I know I'm going after gold, I've used this chart. I know that my gold is going to be huge. I know it's going to have medium resistance, medium instability. Green zone is going to be small. If I want to break the big stuff, because of this right here, I'm going to have to rig with a helix. That's going to make this harder. But again, like I say, these two are skill. These two, if you don't have that, you can't do it. These, you can learn to do it. This you can't. Okay. All right. Lindinium, same thing. Might be smaller. You might get away with like a Stampede or a Riger or something like that. Uh, but you're going to have huge resistance, huge instability. Let's change. Let's look at this. If you're going after Lindinium now, going back to our breaker, this is going to have to go even further. Most of your Lindinium rocks are up in the 80s. Now, with these two, you can break a 15. Switch to your power setup, surge, surge, severe. You knock your resistance all the way down to 20, you can break a 32K. If you're looking for Lindinium, it was smaller. You know, if you go back here, it was a bit smaller. Our resistance out of the roof on both those, but smidge smaller. And it's still going to be most of your Lindiniums. A lot of them are 50K, 60K. All right. But so you just have to pass by those, but you will find some smaller that you can break. So using tools like this is how you know what you need to rig on your surge. Using tools like these, break calculator, a chart like this is how you know what you need to rig. If you're going for this kind of stuff, say you're making armor, all right, and you've got orotite. Now, orotite's got a high resistance, high instability, but it's a small rock. I have mined orotite with a Prospector and a Hofstede just fine. Hofstede helps with this. Skill helps with this. Small enough where you don't have to have the power so much. You can use a Hofstede. Keep you a Surge and Sabir with you, but you can mine orotite, and then Asterite's up here somewhere. Okay, it's got a medium. It's like the orotite, a little bit less than the orotite, and small rock. You can mine Asterite with a Hofstede, but now you're getting a little bit bigger here with this too, but you can mine these with a Hofstede. All right. Now again, myself, most of the time on a Prospector, I'm going with a Helix. Thing about the Prospector and the Golem, you you can't really change your lasers in the field. There are a few lasers that fit through the door on the Prospector. You can stick it in the back, but really, it's a pain to try to do. Some of them won't fit. So the easiest thing to do is just to know what you're needing when you take off. This is just me. I put a helix on it and I carry different modules. I use my modules to change things. If I'm going for easy, now I never run a Riger, but if I'm going for easy and I've got my helix on there, I'll put a surge on. Usually if I'm going easy, I'm just surge and stampede to help with the instability a little bit, but I've always got surges with me. Now you can run, um, there are odd ones that most people don't talk about that you can run. A torpid. Torpid, um, it helps with your overcharge rate. You have to fire it, it's active, but it helps with that. Now it makes your shatter damage go up. When it pops, it can hurt you even more, but it helps with your optimal charge rate when you've got it fired. It 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 makes less overcharge, more good charge. Okay. So you've got the things like this you can play with. Uh, it knocks you down a little bit in power, if you're going for orotite and acerite, you can do this. Okay. Mine's faster, less chance of overcharging. Things like that are stuff that's good to experiment and try. Okay. You can't use two of those. Surge is the only thing that'll stack. You couldn't put, say, a torpid active wise. If you couldn't put a torpid and a stampede, only surge stacks. See, he's got his calculator set where it tells you when you've got a problem. So if you fired this one and you tried to fire this one, it turned this one off. Okay. Just quickly, let me show you if I'm doing this and I'm going after my MDB that I have here, I'm needing titanium, gold, lindenium. Okay. If I'm mining the titanium, I might put a Hofstede on there just so it'll be a little easier. But we need titanium. So go here to your resources, titanium. The key to finding high quality is finding a lot of scans, finding a lot of titanium. Right? So we're looking here and we've got Aberdeen. One of the key things, let's see, let me just show you first. You see this? Contained in asterite. If you're looking for high quality, you can't use these. It's not going to be any higher than 700. 700, it might be, I think 790 is as high as it goes, something like that. But it won't be out of the 700s if it's just contained in something. It's got to be the primary source to get above 700. All right. So we're looking at Aberdeen. Aberdeen titanium is down here. You've got more corundum, more aluminum by a little bit. When you're scanning, you're going to be running into a whole lot of all of them. So we don't really want that if we're looking for high quality, if we can help it. Okay, so go back here, titanium in Cruel 1, Cruel 2, Cruel 3, in those Lagrange points around those stations. Titanium is going to be the primary thing that you find. You'll find the others, but titanium you'll find most. So you're going to get more scans, more chances for high quality. Do that. Okay. Now, same thing. We're looking for um, gold. Gold. Now, here's the thing with gold. It's saying to go to pyro. Okay. These first three are pyro. If I'm mining in Stanton, I don't really want to go to pyro if I can help it. Now, if I'm mining in pyro, that's fine. But if I'm in Stanton, I want to try to stay in Stanton. So here's Stanton, and here gold is actually is a more rare thing. So it's not going to be the most no matter where you go. But here it's the second most. So we can try these Lagrange points to get gold. All right. Now, what's that going to mean? It's going to mean so far 2 mining trips. You're going to go to the place to find titanium. You're going to go to the next place to find gold. And then we have lindenium. Lindenium is only in nicks. Okay. So lindenium. Lindenium is only in nicks, and you've only got a 9% chance of finding it in the glacium ring or the Keeger belt. Glacium ring, you don't have a chance of smacking into asteroids as much. So you might want to do it rather than the Keeger belt. Uh, Seems like sometimes I feel like I can find more in the Keeger belt, but I think that's probably just in my mind. Glacium ring, easier to mine than lindenium. Okay. It's way down here. You're going to find all this stuff more when you find this. Now, none of these are things we were looking for. Say, for instance, it would be great if in this area where we're finding this, we could also find um, titanium, or gold, but you can't. Savrilium, I think, has gold in it, but remember what I said. If it's not the primary, it won't be any higher than 700. Okay. So here is maybe that'll help you a little bit with the loadouts. The golem, right quick. The thing about the golem. Uh, let's go right here. I love the golem. Golem is my favorite ship to just fly around and mine in. The mole is the most useful. Golem is the funnest. Okay, but the problem, Pittman Laserhead, right here. Let's look at equipment. If you go look at the difference. Here's a Helix. It's minus 30% resistance. Pittman, plus 25. You've got a 50% swing in resistance. That's a problem. You can still mine with the Golem, okay? It's going to limit you. You're going to be about 6,000 less. and on the higher end stuff on what you can mine. Uh, I still use the golem all the time. I just know its limits. Okay. If I'm going to mine something, if I'm going to mine some of these easier ones, I love to take the golem and go mine it. But if you're just got a small miner, if you got a prospector or a golem, prospector is going to be more versatile. I don't like the prospector myself, but I love the window, but I'm just not a Misk fan. I'd rather be in a Drake or an Argo. But this hopefully that helps you. I will post this, and again, I'm not a big quality guy as far as on my setup and things. I just want to get you the information, try to help you. So maybe this helps. Thanks a lot.